today. It's a barefoot team doing a bit of barefooting for the first Wellness Wednesday. And what we've got for you is the details of barefooting. So it kind of comes from my name, being a barefoot OT, but it stems from a lot of research by the Earthing Institute. So it's also called earthing or grounding. I'll come to that in a minute. So yeah, Clint Ord and the Earthing Society did a lot of research back in the day and discovered it actually improved the mood of an entire village in northern Alaska, where there was a lot of depression. So if you want more information about the research, it's the Earthing Institute and Clint Ord, and email us, we can put you in touch with that. We won't get into the sciencey bit now. This is about enjoyment. So the barefootness is, it's great. A bit cold today, but you can, it's great for inflammation. If you've got joint inflammation, it's great for blood pressure. It's very good for your immune system. And yeah, it's kind of makes you feel good. If you've got any sort of illness, it can give that little boost to your immunity. And a lot of people say to me, they say, well, you know, it's going to hurt my feet. But it doesn't. You know, you just, when your foot's malleable, so when you're standing on something, you'll move around it, you know, like that. And you just don't tread too hard and pay attention to where you're treading. I think a lot of people these days, because they've got shoes on, they just stomp through. But if you look metre ahead of you, you know what's coming. And nice squishy mud there, that's nice between the toes. We can give you information on how to build it up, how to get your foot, not tough, but to be able to communicate with your foot so you can walk sensibly and just generally enjoy the experience. And that's why we're here, to share it with you.
I wouldn't normally take my shoes and socks off in this weather.
No, and I wouldn't necessarily, but when you do it, it's actually pretty nice. The first couple of minutes are a bit freezing, but yeah, I feel better now.
Yeah. So I bet it was pretty cold in Alaska when they were doing that research. Northern Alaska doesn't sound warm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you get that bit of that Wim Hof effect as well, I suppose. But
maybe.
I mean, a lot of the problem there was because it was, you know, so cold and sort of isolated from everywhere. There was a lot of depression.
Yeah.
And this Clint Ord guy thought, oh, this would be a good place to try it because it's a high depression. And there was actually a notable difference in people's mood and stuff. Yeah.
So this is going to come across like it's really heavily scripted, but you just happened to mention two things that I actually suffer with. So depression, suffer with depression, and you mentioned joint inflammation as well. And I have arthritis and...
Well, I mean, I use it for my back because, you know, I've got nerve damage in my back that I'm waiting for assessments with. And come on then, let's have a go. Get your shoes off.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and a note to self, if you are doing barefoot walking, you should have a towel to wipe yourself, some fresh socks, and yeah, just come prepared. Not that anything's going to happen, but, you know, be that Boy Scout.
It's comfort.
Right, so, how's that feeling, Phil?
So, cold, but straight away I start to notice, well, like I do in the woods, if I'm doing it in that environment, I start to become a bit more conscious of how I'm holding my arch.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a postural thing going on.
Yeah, and it does straighten up your back, I find. You know, I feel I'm walking straighter when I'm barefoot. You know, there's more kind of posture, like you say. So.
Yeah.
And a lot of people always say to me, it's like, oh, you know, what if you tread on something sharp on the ground or a stone? And I mean, this ground's pretty solid, you know, there's ice in it, so is that scaring you? How are you feeling about that?
Not too bad, because my feet are pretty numb.
When you stand, it's almost like it's a two-tier kind of putting your foot down. So you put your foot and then you kind of feel in the ground and then you're putting the pressure in. And that I mean, I guess comes with practice, I suppose.
Yeah. I've just noticed when we stopped then, standing still feels really, really cold.
Yeah, I mean, I've done barefoot walking in the snow, and it's really nice. It's so good. But yeah, the moment you stop, it's like, whoo, yeah, that hits you.
would you get that grounding effect when it is like tarmac and it's not natural substance?
So, I mean, obviously your best ones are soil, ground, and natural ground, sand, anything that's directly connected to the soil. But tarmac, I mean, any surface is going to reduce the effect. I think tarmac's probably the most kind of ineffective surface because nothing can permeate through it. I mean, it's designed that way. Concrete, you do get some effect, but you know, it's better to do it on soil, grass, or you know, as natural as you can, because obviously a lot of man-made surfaces will reduce the magnetic field, because that's kind of what they're designed to do.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
So shoes are back on now.
Shoes are back on. I put mine back on too, because yeah, there's no point pushing yourself too hard, really. It's kind of, I've felt the benefit from it, and you know, I think sometimes it's good. I'm feeling good, you know, cut it there, don't over push it. So how are you feeling after it? What's your...
I've kept that consciousness of my arches.
Yeah.
Which is like making my knee feel a little bit more comfortable.
Good, nice.
It's really nice putting a warm... I've got quite fluffy socks on today. It's really nice putting a pair of nice warm fluffy socks on when your feet are cold.
And that part of that's it. It's a kind of, it's almost like you're going through that sensation and you're pushing yourself a little bit, but then you put the warm socks on and it's just like a nice, oh, that's good.
Like, part of the nice thing about doing it is not having to do it anymore.
yeah. So did you notice any other effects?
Not directly, but I know that from the mental health side of things, that I know that nature engagement thing's a lot more general and happens more slowly.
Yeah. And I mean, they do say 20 minutes a day is the optimal barefoot. For me personally, I've got a little square in my garden.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even doing that 10 minutes, you know, I feel better myself. You know, I'm not getting as much back pain and things. Yeah.
Right. So where we are right now, that terrain's just changed.
Yeah.
So, and we were talking about like keeping it more natural and tarmac and concrete and like how natural that's it.
Yeah.
Would you say that different surfaces have different benefits?
Somewhere in this video we'll be dropping in a clip of when I was actually in Lanzarote, being after there's actually a stone, so it's like a volcano. Obviously that's very different surface. You've got lots of sharp stones, and like predominantly people would be, you know, you're going to stand on it and hurt. But as what's the clip of the video? I mean, you might put it in earlier, but and I'll explain there. So imagine this is your foot. You know, it's very shaped similarly to your hand. So if something stands on it, it's going to bend round and move around. And I guess it's we're getting into sort of somatic movement, I suppose. So somatic movement talks a lot about, as we get older, our bodies and muscles forget certain movements, and that obviously restricts our ability to move and our effectiveness and in terms of balance. And you could do things like yoga and stuff like that, and even do somatic movement classes, but for your feet it's simply that thing of using it and moving it, and it comes back. And this is what I try to explain to a lot of people, because they're like, oh, but you know, if you tread on something it's going to hurt. But you're, you know, from the time when we walk barefoot and we live barefoot without the kind of rubber stopping that energy flow, you know, you stood on something, but you stand lightly, and if you feel something, you don't put as much pressure. If you don't feel it, then you put more pressure down, and you've got your balance in that foot. Yeah. So that again, it improves your core, because if I'm standing here and I'm balancing something like that, I'm using my core. So it's not just affecting the foot, it's the whole overall body experience, and listening to your body and feeling the sensations, which with shoes you don't have. So you don't feel those sensations. I mean, barefoot shoes with the soles, thin soles, you do feel it.
Okay.
But not as much. And I think a lot of people, because we don't feel those sensations, we don't have them, we forget them.
For someone just getting into it or wanting to like up their game, you've got products and things that you can do.
Yeah, you've got products you can do. You can buy these products to try it and feel the benefits of it. And if you set up a little spot in your garden, a little patch of grass you stand on that you keep clean, that you don't drop any glass on or whatever might affect you in that way. And
So thinking about natural materials that you stand on.
Yeah.
What about things like wooden floors? I mean, like proper wooden floors, not laminate.
It's all to do with its contact with the ground and how. I mean, basically, it's the science behind it is it's a magnetic field from the centre of the earth or whatever, and it pulls the electric charge out, so demagnetises.
Okay, so there's more to this than it just being more natural materials.
Well, it's the natural materials that can conduct that magnetic field. Okay. So like your earth, your ground, your soil, like this, that's going straight into the earth. So it's going to have more effect.
Yeah.
If you have a bit of concrete is permeable, so stuff does go through it. Tarmac, probably not a lot, because that stuff's not very good. Sand's fantastic. Sand's really good. Sand's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
But in my garden, I've got a little patch of it, and I've got some gravel just on a square of soil.
Yeah.
And that's quite nice, because you stand on the gravel, you can stomp on the gravel, and that gives your foot a nice massage as well. So that's, a bit of personal free relaxology. My thing is, my little routine, I put my tent up, take my shoes off, and I don't go back on until I take my tent down.
Okay.
So I do the whole festival. I do dancing, walking around, barefoot. Yeah, admittedly I've cut my feet at times. But yeah, it's nothing serious.
But that's when you're talking about whole days.
Oh, last one I did 7 days barefoot.
Yeah. And the advice that we're giving for getting started with this.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Is working up to 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And that can include sitting with your feet still on the ground as well as walking.
If you're unsure about it, you're thinking, oh, it sounds all a bit weird, you can get one of the earthing mats or earthing pillows and see if you notice an effect from that. Yeah, so I think we should give them some top tips, really.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean,
top tips. We do 3, 4, 5.
Let's go for 4.
Four.
For 4?
Okay.
Go on. I'd say the first one is picking your spot that's suitable to you.
Okay.
Don't immediately start running across rocky beaches and cliffs. Start on some grass in your back garden, dry.
Local park.
Yeah. You can take your shoes off and just sit on the ground. So people, if you're a bit wary of it, but yeah, don't push yourself too much at first, because you'll ruin the experience.
Cool. The one that we missed should be in there. So
Yeah. School boy error that.
Yeah. Prep. Take
Yeah.
some spare socks with your towel, wipes
your
for your feet or whatever, so you can clean up after.
Yeah. I think the last one was a third one. Still got one more. Learn to understand the receptors in your feet, because we have the most receptors in our feet, and they're part of the body, and that's there for a reason, so we can sense what we're walking on. Because was originally. I'm always worn shoes. So yeah, learn to stand the receptors on the feet and
Yeah.
communicate.
And you're the expert on this one, so you're not throwing number 4 at me.
Don't build it up. Don't try and do 20 minutes in one go. And it's kind of similar to kind of knowing your own spot, but yeah, don't. There's all sorts of people at different stages, and with a lot of these things, people come in and say, oh yeah, I can barefoot walk across the Himalayas, and everyone tries to strive to do that. But it's what you need and how much you need.
I guess this is where they're like, right, don't walk, maybe just sit on a bench with your feet on the grass.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah, build it up. Build it up. Don't try and be a hero. Or don't try and get your gold medal in the first game.
Yeah.
Train.
Yeah. I think that's the end of the video.
Yeah.
Anyway, how did we? Yeah. It's not